It's time for God and therapy. Let's do it. Goody. We haven't done this in a little bit.
All right, so y'all got to tell me when to stop.
All right, stop.
Okay.
Okay. Here we go.
Oh.
We're gonna mix in a little bit of God, a little bit of therapy, a little bit of biblical context. Hopefully, let's see how this goes.
All right. So, and I think this one may be good for you all. And I'm talking about you too. And I want to shape this because if you're not answering this question directly, then I'll ask why you feel that way. So the question is, what would you never share about your past relationship with your future partner and why? And I guess the shaping it is, if you would feel comfortable telling them any and everything about your past relationship, why so open?
So I'm not going to say it's an easy one. I will say I'm not going to share anything with you that you aren't ready for, but I am ready to share everything with you. So as long as you are ready to receive what I'm getting ready to tell you, then I will tell you. But if you're not ready to receive it, I'm not just going to blurt it out, because then, that's not fair to you. Um, when you're not ready to receive that information. I mean, so uh that's how I even feel about it. I mean, if I feel as though that I'm not ready to receive what you about to tell me, hey, listen, don't tell me. But I feel as though um that when a person is ready to like share everything, the other person has to be also ready to share everything, and you both have to be ready to receive that information as well, um, and to be able to talk about those things, because you most definitely should talk about it, because anything just given on at and I don't want to say the surface level, but it is, initially, when you give up information, it's surface level until you start to peel back the layers. um you know because honestly, you should want to share everything so that you're not caught off guard in any situation, you know um whether good or bad, um especially if that's the person that you want to be with for the rest of your life, if that's the person that you know who is the first person you want to tell when you accomplish something, or when somebody does you wrong, or when it could be just something funny that happened, you know um so yeah, you definitely, in my opinion, um should consider you should consider your partner, you should consider that other person being ready to receive what you have to tell them.
Yeah. um. Uh. So I'm kind of a rip the band-aid off kind of guy. you know. Um. In that, I'd rather get stuff out in the open now, deal with it, address it, see if it's a deal breaker now, than down the road find out that this is a problem or that was a problem, right? I think you should be open at different points. Like, am I saying you divulge everything on the first date? No, that's not what I'm saying, right? But I think over time, through progressive conversations, there will be more about your past or what have you that'll likely come out. And I think if you truly, if you're real about that person, and you believe that person's real about you, then I don't think there's any issue with divulging, things that happen in your relationship, previous relationships. Now, I will say, however, if there were a reason for me not to, I'm gonna hit the other side of this. Richard did a brilliant job on the, you need to tell them, but also consider they're ready to receive that. The reason why somebody wouldn't say something is exactly that, because they don't believe that the other person is ready to receive it, or they believe something that happens often, which is that it'll be used against them at a later date by the very person that they're confiding in or talking to about their previous relationship. That there's a fear that this is gonna come back. You gonna use this against me later. You know, um, so if I were to say that maybe there's something, I can't really think of anything. So again, I said, okay, you want to know? Here's all of it. You decide what you want to do. That's what I did. Okay, but if there was going to be something that I would kind of, you know, um, if there was going to be a reason I would not divulge something, it would be that. It would be because it was something that emotionally, hurt me. It's something that really, you know, got me right in the feels, right? And I may be concerned, probably going to be concerned that you're going to turn that, use that against me later. And we've seen, I mean, countless videos, movie experiences, had real life experiences with somebody who you confided in and told a deep secret or deep feeling about something or whatever, and then they use that against you in battle, right? And so I think that would probably be a reason not to do that. Again, I also believe that if you're, you know, if that's the one you're supposed to be with, there really shouldn't really be much that's off limits. If anything, that's off limits, because that's the ones you're gonna spend the rest of your life with. If you're married to him, if you're choosing to marry him, right? And that's when you're gonna spend the rest of your life with. You should, why not tell them everything? It's kind of silly not to, I think. But I could completely understand why somebody would want to withhold certain things.
I think for me, and maybe it's not so much about what I would never share, but it's probably what I don't care to know, are like intimacy details, uh, about my partner and her past relationship. Like, I don't need to know like what y'all did and how y'all did it, and like, what I'm saying, like, if that's, and I know some
Yeah,
people are like curious about those things. Like, nah, I'm good on that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's weird.
yeah, it's weird. I'm good on that. But I think on a smaller side for me, like, I probably just wouldn't divulge like discovering certain things, like, like, well, how you know about this restaurant? Oh, it's a place me and my like ex used to go. Like, that's it probably ain't a necessary detail. Like, I just came across it on a Google search, and which ain't a lie, because you Google restaurants to try new things. So I Google searched it and wanted to give it a try. So here we are. Like, because what I'm saying, like, I don't, like, in my mind, I wouldn't want to, and this is probably saying more about like the thoughts about my partner and like how they would receive things, but I just wouldn't want to create any unnecessary like doubts in their mind about like, oh, like, you still think about your whatever, 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 like, just creating an unnecessary issue. I like, that's probably one of the first things that come to my mind. Like, all right, cool. Let me take you to this restaurant. Well, how'd you come across it? It's just something just something I discovered. Thought I'd give it a try. Like, you know, that.
Yeah, and that's what I meant. I mean, a lot of that, so, both you and Trey, said some, pretty insightful things. And a lot of what I meant was like, if your partner is ready for it. So, for example, like you just said, Kev, just the mentioning of an ex, period, um, doesn't work for some people, whereas some other people, oh, well, you mentioned your ex. Oh, okay, cool. I know all about that, and it's not that deep. It's just that is something that comes up because of that experience that had happened. Like, some people hear a song and they're like, oh, yeah, well, such and such, da, da, da. Oh, I remember this. And it brings up a memory.
Mhm.
And then some people can take that memory being connected to an ex, and some people can't. They don't want to hear about it. But those are the things that you have to learn. And is that something you're willing to compromise on, not bringing up any exes? What if your partner doesn't want to know or hear about any of your exes? So when you say, you know oh yeah, let's go to this restaurant. Oh, how did you pick this restaurant? Oh man, and then you bring, well, I visited this one in the past and it had some really good food. Woo woo woo. And there you go. I mean, you've been to it before. You don't have to go into the details of, you know, me and my ex went to this restaurant here. We smashed in the car in the in the
In the
parking
parking
lot.
lot,
I'm
food was
just
so
saying, like, you
food.
don't have to go
in
into
the
Yeah.
in the same
all that
spot that we're sitting
details.
in right now.
Yeah, whereas, you know, uh, somebody else might not won't be, as offended, or they don't care because that was the past and this is now. Um, so, you just got to know your partner and what they are ready to receive, or even willing to receive, right? You don't want to, if they don't want to hear about certain things, why throw it out there anyway,
Yeah, yeah.
so I think it's just
That's
levels.
crazy. That's
It's
crazy.
levels.
That's crazy. Like why? What? These are questions that when I was thinking about. I'm thinking about like what a conversation that argument that you and your ex had, or why you and your ex broke up, or that like that. I ain't even think about it down to the minuscule of
Mm.
like, oh yeah, I came to me and my ex used to come to this restaurant. Oh, now she's jealous. And I didn't even think about it. I didn't even think about that. I honestly didn't
But
think about
a
that.
lot of times it is the small things, like like you could people are in relationships and they never think to ask how talking about certain things makes the other one feel.
Mm.
Like, you could say something as small as, um you know oh, my ex used to always take out the trash, and then that sets somebody off, or, you know oh, that gets on my nerves. My ex used to do da 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 da.
We live. We live.